Thank you for taking time to watch this tutorial. The main purpose of this tutorial is to show you how to access ATLA database and get the reference for any article you might use in your research paper. But there's also going to be aspects of this tutorial that'll help you navigate the Populi page as well as other features of the Lee Squires Library page. So let's dive in. First of all, there are two main ways that you can access ATLA through Populi. And one of them is to go to the syllabus page on our Populi class page. On this page, I have several links that are helpful in your studies, as well as the article that you'll want to access for Chris Green. That's a required text. That's right here. Of course, we've got the syllabus, but there's also some Turabian helps. We'll talk more about that in this tutorial. Dan Tumberland has some videos that kind of introduce his book. Of course, we have the links to the two textbooks. You should have them already. But of course, the main feature of this page that we're looking at today is the ATLA database. And I have that as the very first link under links. And so you'll just want to click on that. And that takes you to a page where it'll ask for your credentials. I'll speak more on that in just a moment. For now, I want to show you how to get to the ATLA database through the Squires Library links that are on Populi. You should have already gone to the start here and kind of navigated yourself around this page. But on this page, we have a pages link, and that gives you various resources. But on here is the Squires Library information. Click on that, and that takes you to all kinds of links. There's tutorials, instructional videos, but on here there's also this Turabian online help. Again, I highly recommend that you familiarize yourself with Turabian. It's Turabian formatting that we are requiring for the research paper, and you're going to hear me hound on that probably every time I engage with you. I'm going to be talking about Turabian. Anyways, for our intents and purposes here, we want to access the library. We'll do that here through Library Access. Just click on that, and that takes you to the William Squires Library page. This, of course, has all kinds of tabs and information to navigate the library. Again, there's the Chicago Turabian tab, and I'm just going to click on that just to show you what that looks like. On this tab, you can have basic formatting, where you can get in here and it's going to show you how to format your footnotes, how to format your bibliography. It also has this resources where you can click on here and just get a quick guide. You don't have to get the book. Just for your own information, the reason it's called Turabian is because Kate Turabian, who writes these books. So Kate Turabian writes on Chicago style formatting. So that hopefully that'll help you remember that they're the same format. And so this is an excellent resource for you. If you haven't taken a writing class, please get familiar with Turabian. These are good, quick guides to that and formatting for that. Again, for our purposes, we want to go to databases. And once you hit on that, you have an option of various databases. If you are in the counseling courses, getting a master's in counseling, you're going to have access to psychology articles. That's very helpful. Also, within your research and your preaching, for you preachers, if you want to access Pentecostal archives, what did Pentecostal preachers say 100 years ago? You can go into this archive, and this is where the Dixon Center at the library is connected to other Pentecostal archives, the Flowers Center in Arkansas, where the Assemblies of God is. They're connected to the Foursquare archives. And you can click on that, and there's all kinds of abouts, this consortium of archives, searching. I found it very helpful to go to this Browse By tab, and you click on that, and you can, if you know the series, the Evangel, the Lighthouse Messenger, whatever, you can click on that. But I found it, if you go to this denominational tab, This will give you access to all of the periodicals and writings that are associated with these Pentecostal denominations. As you go through there, just see they're all here. Open Bible, Pentecostal assemblies, Pentecostal holiness, um, assemblies of God, of course, and of course we have the Church of God. Click on the Church of God, and that offers you books or series. And what this means simply are the periodicals. And you can go in here, hit on series, and you can have all of these periodicals that are associated with the Church of God, the very early Samson's Foxes. You've got the Evangel. You click on that, and they have digitized all of the evangels all the way back to March 1910. And every evangel you can access. You can access them, and you can search these articles by topic. And it's just, I can't tell you how much this is worth to have access to this, not only for your writing, but also for your preaching, to see what the Church of God was saying years ago. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on that. I just find this so helpful in my writing. But we want to go back to the database page. We want to hit the ATLA tab. And here on this page, you have other tutorials that might interest you. There's a 3-minute tutorial on how to do a Bolin search. There are ways to using the indexes, 3-minute tutorial there, and other tutorials that help you navigate ATLA. Those are helpful. What we're interested in today is actually to show you how to get the citation. So let's go ahead and go to the actual database. And here it says ATLA Religion. This is why this is so valuable. This is academic religious articles that you can use for your research paper. And you click on that, and it takes you to the ATLA database page. Now, going back to the credentials page, if you're going through, the syllabus page where we have the ATLA link, takes you to the credentials. All you do here is put in your PTS credentials, whatever that might be. Put in your username, put in your password, click login, and this takes you to the same ATLA database page. And so here we are. This is where you will search for your articles. This is where you'll search for the 2 articles that I gave you for the assignment. Simply put in here, perhaps part of the title, the author's name, something about the subject, and it'll take you there. Before you do any searching, before you start typing anything in, just note that there are certain defaults that are already set for you, and these are fine. Don't even worry about the defaults. Proximity, equivalent subjects, uh, periodical type, all, genre, all. Don't worry about that. Language, all. I guess if you had a Spanish title you're looking for, you might want to look at it in Spanish. If you hit all, it's going to find it. But the one tab you want to make sure you hit is full text. You want to make sure you have that checked because you're not looking just for titles, right? You actually want articles that you can read. So before you do anything, just make sure that you hit full text. And so for our class, we're looking at worship. That might be something that we might be finding interesting, and formation. And in that, what does that have to do with discipleship, maybe? And so you can just type in anything here, the author's name, subject, if you have part of the title, just look for it in here. Once you get all this in here, and again, I'm just going to reiterate, full text, you can hit search. So we want to get these full text articles, and this gives you all kinds. Worship, schooling in the tradition of Jesus. That sounds interesting for our class. Formative role of worship in the early Christianity. That might be helpful. Song, beauty of art. Here's one, worship and the formation of spiritual virtue. This would be very helpful. Let's look at that. To access that article, you just simply hit the tab here, PDF, full text, hit that, and that gives you the article. It's 13 pages, and you can read it here if you like. Here it is, the whole article. But what you'll want to do is you'll want to download that article. And so you'll hit this download page and save that to your computer. And that way you'll have access to it. You can read it at your leisure, access it, highlight it, whatever you want to do. Now, What we want to do for our exercise and what you're going to want to do in your papers is you want to get the citation. And there's two you want to get. You want to get the footnote citation or the reference citation. Same thing, reference, footnote. You're also going to want to get the bibliography. You need both citations, not only for the extra credit assignment, but you're going to need both citations for your paper. And remember, we're allowing you to use ATLA database because, again, most of you don't have access to a library. I would rather you use books. I'd rather you use commentaries for your research. But if you don't have own personal library with all the commentaries and books you need, we're allowing you to use 3 articles from ATLA. Remember, these are articles not from the internet. These are academic articles. And so to cite this article here, you go over to this right-hand column and you go down to the citation tab. This one that kind of looks like a document. That's the third one up. And you'll hit that document tab, the citation tab. And what that does, that brings you to the citation format page. And there's all kinds of formatting. ABNT, AMA, APA, of course, Chicago. That should be what you're looking for. You should recognize Chicago Turabian. Are you at Harvard? This is how they want you to citation. MLA, for you who are going to go into counseling, this is probably the citation that you will use. But for academic, religious articles, we use Chicago Turabian. And it's the reason this is the 17th edition is because that's Turabian's book. It's the 17th edition of her book. And so this is the reference list right here. This is what you'll do for your footnote. So you'll simply take that, highlight the whole thing, copy, and paste it into your footnote. You'll also want the bibliography. So you go down here, just simply highlight it, right click, copy. Paste that into your bibliography. Now, for both the citations, the footnote, and the bibliography, you are going to have to edit this because at the end of the citation, you're going to want to put the access date. When did you take this article out of the ATLA database? And for that, you simply use this format, access October 14th, 2024, or whatever the date was, and put that in there, and then that would be your entire citation. Before we leave this example, I do need to point out that there is a correction that you'll have to make in the footnote citation. Notice here we have both the footnote and the bibliography, and they're almost identical, except always in the footnote, you will see that the author's first name comes first, followed by the last name. In the bibliography, you have the last name followed by the first. And so whenever you use a footnote citation from ATLA, please make sure that you have the order of the name put in there correctly. As you may have noted, this is very important to me because I'm really trying to help you become better writers as you continue to move forward in your academic pursuits. Well, that's the tutorial. And I think it's pretty straightforward. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be glad to assist you. I mean, I'm not going to download your articles. I'm not going to search for your articles. I'm certainly not going to download your references, but I'll give you any assistance that you might need, especially if you're having trouble accessing the database. All right. Well, that'll be it for today. Thank you for your time. We'll see you online. Bye-bye.